Reelworld, an oasis, a pipeline, a community. Amplifying authentic voices, redefining Canada. It's your time. Come together, grow together. Have a voice. Be the voice. 20 years advocating, mentoring, supporting. Be the change you want.
Welcome. My name is Tanya Williams, and I'm the Executive Director of Reelworld. Access Reelworld is excited to be partnered with the ACTRA Toronto Diversity and Inclusion Committee, presenting a different lens. The committee brought together writers, directors, and ACTRA actors to create the scenes you're about to watch. As we all know, demo reels are key in the role of an actor being considered for auditions, and many racially diverse actors have not had the opportunity to be able to pull those scenes from actual work. So this was a perfect opportunity for them to have high quality scenes to better showcase their talents. Please enjoy the scenes and then stay around and hear from the co-chairs of the committee, the actors themselves, all moderated by Reelworld staffer Kafi Pierre, who is herself an ACTRA member. And don't forget to join our national database, accessreelworld.ca. Create your profile, upload your demo reel, because this creates another opportunity to be seen by producers, directors, casting directors, and the industry at large. Just some housekeeping notes before we start. Closed captioning is available for this presentation. Please turn it on in the bottom right YouTube window, and feel free to comment, cheer on the projects, and participate in the live chat window. Enjoy.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening. Although we're all coming in from different portions of the GTA, we would like to do a land acknowledgement. Toronto is in the Dish with One Spoon territory. The Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Haudenosaunee. The treaty was created to share and protect what is still their traditional territory. This area around the Great Lakes represent the dish that we all feed from, and we must share with one spoon. Subsequent Indigenous nations, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and the respect for the land we now share. We are all treaty people who have a responsibility to maintain the spirit of the Dish with One Spoon covenant. Welcome to A Different Lens, a demo reel initiative to empower the diverse performer created by the ACTRA Toronto Diversity and Inclusion Committee in partnership with Access Reelworld, which is the most comprehensive database of Canadian creatives who are Black, Indigenous, or people of color. At accessreelworld.ca, you can search for talent, crews, production staff, and executives. I'm Kafi Pierre, and I'm a proud ACTRA member and a Reelworld representative, and I'll be your moderator for this evening. I would like to introduce the brains behind A Different Lens, former ACTRA Toronto D&I co-chairs, Lisa Michelle Cornelius and Samora Smallwood. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me. Yes, thank you for having both of us. We're excited to be here and excited that this is happening.
Oh, so am I. It's such a great initiative. So let's get into it. How did this initiative, Different Lens, come about?
Okay, so necessity is the mother of all invention. As I struggle with my shades, you know what it is. We're all been on Zoom for over a year now. Necessity is the mother of invention. So it's really cool. First of all, I have to say, because we are passing the baton as D&I co-chairs, that I literally could not have done this or chosen a better partner than Lisa Michelle. Honestly, has become a very close friend. I trust your opinion. Your leadership is unparalleled. And together we were just the perfect match. We came together at the perfect time. So when I say for me, it clicked in when I was up for this big part, like necessity is the mother of all invention. I was up for this part. My rep called me right after the second audition and was like, send me your most updated demo reel. And this feeling of dread came over me because I was like, oh, I haven't played a part as big as this yet. And we know it's kind of a risk averse industry. And I just had this sinking pit in my stomach. And it's just when Lisa Michelle and I had started working together as co-chair, and then organically it had been on her mind too. So the two of us were like, okay, we both know this is real. We know this is a thing. We have to figure out a way to do this. And when you look at the marketplace, it can be very expensive for actors to basically shoot a short film on their own. And we know that traditionally marginalized voices, our diverse performers all across the spectrum, just don't get as much opportunity. And so that's how we came up with the idea. And I am so humbled and really, really grateful to everyone who made this happen, because it's so amazing to see. So thank you.
On that note, I have to return the love. Samora is an incredible partner. As you can see, she's a strong woman with incredible ideas, vast. Like, I just knew that we needed to do this because similar to Samora, we were on a similar track in that we're talented, we have experience, we have training, and we were too far in our careers to not have the demo reels that we should have had. I am going to boldly and confidently say. And so we knew that we weren't the only ones in the same situation who had everything else, all the other tools in our toolkit, except for that magical piece that often can be the final choice in you getting work or getting that agent that you want, getting that rep. It's so important. And sometimes, you do what you can in the meantime, you build a reel of classwork and things like that. But there comes a time in your career you have to have that good quality footage. So here we are with this idea with the help of many, many hands. So I always feel extra humbled when you said the brains behind it, because I'm like, thank you, but it took a million hands to get this going, and we're so happy it did.
Awesome. That is, I know that it is an incredibly important initiative for everybody involved. So thank you, and thanks to all involved. Let me understand though, how did you accomplish this during COVID pandemic? Please do tell the story.
Wowzers. Okay, well, again, many hands make light work. So thanks so much to ACTRA Toronto and all the staff there, in particular, Jen Paul, Taza Decker, Alistair Hepburn, because so many people could have just said no for such a vast kind of initiative, for any kind of initiative really during that time. Not only are resources hard to come by, but energy, bodies, all these types of things. And there's so many rules and so many logistics, but we were able to do it and keep everyone as safe as possible. We had COVID testing on set, all the PPE, Taza took care of us in that department on set, every single day of set. Jen did all the preparation to make that happen. Samora and I helped to, be the enforcers, but I don't even need to say that. It was from the participation of everyone involved as well, all the actors, all the crew, everyone wanted to get this done and get it done safely. So it took longer than we wanted to. We were hoping to have this initiative much earlier. We were hoping to have many, many more actors, because although we have 14 incredible actors who did participate, that's it's wonderful to say that it's a small fraction of the kind and the amount of talent we have at ACTRA Toronto, especially with our diverse performers as well. So it was with everyone's participation to keep it safe, keep it going no matter how long it took. And of course, thanks to Tanya Williams as well, who stuck it out with us as we planned it, and dates got pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed as rules kept fluctuating with COVID. But we were able to make it happen. I'll say with God's grace.
Yeah.
I want to touch on something that Lisa Michelle said, because I think it's actually really timely and relevant to the conversation, because for so many of us who are in the community, it can be a lot of emotional labor and it can feel exhausting to just stay in the conversation place with people about what we're experiencing. So what's so key about what Lisa Michelle said is, yes, this is something we ran on when we campaigned as Diversity and Inclusion Committee co-chairs, when it was just the Diversity Committee. Inclusion wasn't even added on yet. And it took some time to get going. It's a massive undertaking for a committee to take on, and expensive, of course, with hours. And we had so many great sponsors who helped us make it a possibility. But what Lisa Michelle touched on that is so key and that is so important about the commitment that ACTRA Toronto showed is that in this world we're in now, examining the world you live in is so important, and I think is a gateway into conversations of understanding other communities' experience, because especially with the online space, things can feel very combative right now. So it's great to just look around the world. And one of the things I started to notice was I have friends who are ACTRA members and who are actors, even if they're pre-union, who are killing it in a class. They are nailing it. They are making me cry in class. These people are telling the emotional stories. And I'm like, why are they not working? And I start to look at myself. That's one way you can look around the world and say, okay, there's a common denominator here. There's not as much opportunity. ACTRA has already shown up for our committee and for our community for years and years and years. But Lisa Michelle and I being able to have a frank conversation, we've all had a very, very hard year. Some people so much more than others. And we're seeing some really great things happen, but for us to be able to have a frank conversation with the union and for the union to come to us and say, how can we do more? So it felt like a really relevant moment to say, okay, here's the real deal Holyfield, this thing that we've been talking about that is going to be intense to do. This would be a really good way for us to show up for the community, because we know that people are going to be taking a closer look, casting producers, the network, the broadcasters, whether they feel it in their hearts that it's the right thing to do, or whether they're feeling societal pressure when shows are too white or shows are too straight or too heteronormative, whatever it is, to have that frank conversation with the union and for them to be like, yes, we're going to step up. We're going to make this possible, COVID or not. Let's look at the scope. Teza was so key in this, Jen. I mean, Alistair, all the people Lisa Michelle shouted out, can't even say. But basically that was the undertaking of not it just being COVID. I feel like you can't have the conversation of COVID without understanding the year we've all had as persons of color and as diverse people, and how there has been a humongous shift in collective awakening, I guess.
Well, thank you, ladies, for that insight. That was fantastic. That was fantastic. So for those who have joined a little bit later, welcome. Just like to remind you that feel free to comment, cheer on the projects, and participate in the live chat window that we have. Samora and Lisa, again, thank you for your words. And let's join the party.
That was awkward.
Yeah, that was a bit presumptuous on the server's part.
You know, I used to work at a pharmacy, and the only thing they told us to remember was never comment on customers' purchases. There was a guy who got fired because he couldn't stop sparking every time he scanned Anusol. You're fired. Your eyes are smiling. Glenn, it was a joke. I was just kidding.
I'm sorry, Miranda. I'm a little on edge. I just don't understand why Mr. Ryan would invite us out to lunch. We always meet in a common room. Maybe he forgot.
Or maybe he just wanted to show the comms department some love.
Was it rude? What I said to her?
The waitress?
Yes, the way I said it.
You weren't rude to her.
Right. Wow. I did not mean for it to come out like that.
Well, you did kind of make it seem like you would never be with me in a million years, so.
We'd be pretty old by then.
You know, everybody said that you don't have a sense of humor, but once you peel back 20 or so layers, you're actually pretty funny.
And it's against company policy.
What?
Dating. A coworker.
Um,
It's okay. You can take it. Stupid foot. Your stupid mouth. Stupid. What happened?
I am so sorry.
Oh my God. I'm fired.
No.
I knew it.
No, Glenn, you were not fired. Mr. Ryan just wanted to take you out to celebrate your birthday, but he got caught up in a call, and I can't believe I forgot your birthday. You know, lunch is on me.
Well, right. So it's just the two of us.
Is that okay?
As long as you let me pay for dinner tonight.
Bone dry sense of humor. And smooth. Hello, Glenn. Who are you?
Well, you know that city slogan, right? Open for business.
Psychiatric nurse Austin Kingston has joined me, Dr. Wendy Reese, to formalize her report on the death of NCR client, Miss Walters. Please confirm that you've consulted with your union rep. You'll need to verbalize for the record.
Yes.
Excellent. I have some questions and a couple forms you need to sign. Let's jump in. Did you notify your head of psych, Dr. Hardwick, when you thought the client could be pregnant?
No.
Did you notify your floor supervisor, Patience?
No.
Did you take it upon yourself to go against hospital protocol and perform a pelvic examination on the client?
Yes, but
All we need is the yes. Did this interference then cause the client to bleed excessively?
no.
Did you... Pardon?
No.
Did you state that your hand was covered in blood?
Correct, but that doesn't equal excessive bleeding.
Did you willfully ignore Dr. Hardwick's direct order to leave the client and wait for the paramedics?
I did go meet them, but then she was calling for me.
Who was?
Cherie. The client. Her name was Cherie. And she was calling for me because I'm the only one who seemed to care.
That's enough, Miss Kingston.
Is it? Is it enough? I have questions that I think should be of greater concern to you. How does a client in near isolation become pregnant? How was she so neglected for months? Chronic stomach cramps. Where was the ultrasound or the simple exam that would have informed you of her pregnancy? And how could I, on my first day, mind you, figure it out?
This is highly irregular.
Can you tell me, should a developmentally delayed woman who is friggin' terrified and in full-blown labor be given cyclobenzaprine and restrained? I guess that part didn't make it into your paperwork.
What makes you think you could speak to me in that manner? Who do you think you are?
That's a question I can't answer. I am a nurse who gives a big fuck about her clients. When I evaluated Cherie's condition, I knew without a doubt that her baby wasn't waiting for the medics. She needed my help. And the muscle relaxant that Dr. Hardwick forced into her interfered with her clotting. That, and the lack of a simple blood pressure cuff or a heart rate monitor, made it impossible for me to accurately check her vitals. All this before I even stepped foot into her room. She didn't stand a chance.
That equipment is available on rec. I don't have an answer for why it wasn't. You certainly raise issues that I was not briefed on. I'm going to assign a committee to review the circumstances of the client's Cherie's pregnancy.
You will. How can I help?
You can return to your duties.
But I can tell
Thank you, Miss Kingston. You dropped the ball. Pregnant client, really?
I was doing fine. I was on a call negotiating an escrow agreement, and next thing I know, I'm being pulled into a meeting with HR, and they just...
Seems your work is quite strenuous.
I wouldn't describe it that way.
Given what you've been through, Christiane, I'm not surprised that they send you on leave. It can take time to process.
I feel fine.
Grief can hit you unexpectedly. Fine. You keep using that word.
Not fine, fine. Everyone has their own way of coping, no?
Well, yes, but not everyone loses their family, their house, all at once to a fire.
What else do I have left? All I have is my work, my clients. This was the one thing that kept me sane.
So, Christiane, we have spent 6 sessions together, and
Yes, and it's blown by.
That's how you would characterize our time together?
Should I be offended?
You haven't spoken about your family, not really, so perhaps next
I told you what happened.
You told me about the fire, yes. But I am asking you about your parents. Your relationship with them. Your parents, your husband, his parents.
Ulrich, what if your wife died under the same unspeakable circumstances? Would you want to talk about it?
I don't have a wife.
You take my point.
What about your parents? Your in-laws? If I lose someone that I love in such a tragic manner, then actually, yes. I will need someone to talk to.
I didn't say need.
So, you need to talk about something, but you're not sure if you can't or you shouldn't. Whatever you want to share with me, it stays in this room.
What are you suggesting?
I'm simply reminding you.
I don't need to be reminded.
I see.
I'm sure you've already calculated how ill-advised that would be.
I guess congratulations are in order, so congrats.
Thanks.
Gloria Johnson's new assistant. It's an incredible opportunity. I think you'll do great. And even though I wanted the job myself, you are much better suited for it.
How so?
The position clearly requires a skill set that I'm lacking.
And what would that be?
You know, a cold, conniving, cutthroat personality, the willingness to step over friends and coworkers to get to the top.
That's not what happened.
Really? 'Cause for months, I helped you with your pitches, did your research, edited your creative reports,
And I'm forever grateful.
I even covered for you when you went to the clinic for that.
Can you please lower your voice, please?
Oh, don't worry. That's our little secret.
Are you threatening me?
I would never do something like that. I mean, what kind of person betrays a friend?
I didn't betray you. I didn't even want this stupid...
Please. Everyone wanted the promotion, and you said you'd put in a good word for me.
I did. I tried. It's just...
Just what?
Gloria thinks you're pretentious.
Pretentious? She calls graduating summa cum laude pretentious? Does she even know what that word means?
That right there. You always have to tell people that you graduated summa cum laude or that you went to Yale.
Harvard,
Hogwarts, whatever. Oh my God, Naomi. You are so brilliant, you know that? But you just always have to tell everyone how brilliant you are. It's exhausting. You're exhausting.
You think I'm brilliant?
Yeah. Well, that's not the point I was trying to make.
No, but you're right. I am brilliant. Thank you. And I'm sorry. I think you're gonna be great.
So, you're not mad anymore.
I've decided I no longer want to be Gloria's assistant.
Really? Why?
Because now I want to be her boss.
What should we do?
For lunch?
Obvi.
I don't really care.
Freshie?
Too boring.
Bagel stop?
Nah.
McDonald's.
I don't hate myself that much today.
Okay, then what do you feel like eating?
Something healthy, but tasty. But not too expensive or too cheap.
That doesn't help. But all right. I know. Let's play a game. Growing up, we choose like this.
I'm
Ready?
not in the mood to play a game.
Okay. Do you want American food or Asian food?
Asian, I guess.
Great. We can go with Japanese or Chinese, Vietnamese, Thai, Korean.
Maybe Japanese?
Great. We can have sushi or maybe ramen. Wait, I already had ramen last night.
The last time I ate sushi, it didn't agree with me.
Ew. Imagery. Okay, forget this. We're having McDonald's.
No. We promised we wouldn't do that to ourselves again unless it was an emergency. As the great Maya Angelou once said, when you know better, do better.
Pretty sure she wasn't referencing fast food.
Life is a daring adventure, or else it's nothing. Helen Keller.
When they go low, we go high. Michelle Obama.
Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi.
Do one thing every day that scares you. Eleanor Roosevelt.
Yes, yes! Okay, now, what do we want?
Food.
When do we want it?
Now.
And what are we having?
McDonald's.
Screw it, screw it. Let's treat ourselves.
We earned it.
We deserve it.
We are such good people.
What are you gonna order?
No clue.
Psychiatric nurse Austin Kingston has joined me, Dr. Wendy Reese, to formalize her report on the death of NCR client, a Ms. Walters. Please confirm that you've consulted with your union rep. You'll need to verbalize.
Yes.
Great. I have some questions and a couple of forms you need to sign. Let's jump in. Did you notify your head of psych, Dr. Hardwick, when you thought the client could be pregnant?
No.
Did you notify your floor supervisor patients?
No.
Did you take it upon yourself to go against hospital protocol and perform a pelvic examination on the client?
Yes. But
all we need is the yes. Did this interference then cause the client to bleed excessively?
No.
Did you... Pardon?
No.
These state that your hand was covered in blood.
Correct. But that doesn't equal excessive bleeding.
Did you willfully ignore Dr. Hardwick's direct order to leave the client and go to the paramedics?
I did go to meet them. But then she was calling for me.
Who was?
Cherie. The client. Her name was Cherie. She was calling for me because I was the only one who seemed to care.
That's enough, Miss Kingston.
Is it? Enough? I have questions that I think are of far greater concern to you. How does a client in near isolation become pregnant? How was she so neglected for months with chronic stomach cramps? Where's the ultrasound or simple exam that would have informed you of her pregnancy? And how can I, on my first day, mind you, figure that out?
This is highly irregular.
I'm just getting started. Can you tell me, should a developmentally delayed woman who is freaking terrified and in full-blown labor be given cyclobenzaprine and restrained? Guess that didn't make it into your paperwork.
What makes you think you can speak to me in such a manner? Who do you think you are?
Now that's a question I can't answer. I know exactly who I am. A nurse who gives a real fuck about my clients. When I evaluated Cherie's condition, I knew without a doubt that her baby wasn't going to make it. She needed my help. And the muscle relaxant Dr. Hardwick forced into her interfered with clotting. And the lack of a blood pressure cuff or heart rate monitor made it nearly impossible for me to check her vitals accurately. All this before I even stepped foot into her room. She didn't stand a chance.
That equipment is available on request. I have no answer for why it wasn't. You've certainly raised issues that I was not briefed on. I'm going to put together a committee to go over the circumstances of the client, Cherie's pregnancy.
You will? How can I help?
You can return to your duties.
But I...
Thank you, Austin. You dropped the ball. A pregnant client? Really?
Sorry to bother you. I'm sorry. Jasmine tea with a drop of almond milk, just like you like it. I also took the liberty of transcribing all your messages in case you want to review them later. And since you haven't eaten today, there's a biscotti. How's it coming? I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I'm a huge fan of your work. I read the entire Dark Forest collection. Elena basically got me through high school.
Go now. Close the door behind you.
Oh. Okay. I'm sorry if I did something to offend you. I really want this job.
It's not you, dear. It's your whole generation. All this wide-eyed optimism, it's so, what's the word, endearing. No, pathetic, that's it, pathetic.
I'm not pathetic.
What would you call running around after me all day long like a yappy little chihuahua?
I'm trying to help you.
Help me. Help you is more like it. You think I don't know why you're here? You want to know what the identity of this mystery man is, and will they find the moonstone in time? Will Elena Skye come back from the dead? And when you do, guess what? You're on to the next thing. You only know how to consume. You have no idea how to birth something.
I have a daughter, actually. She's 3. Her name is Elena, too.
Of course it is. Congratulations. 4 years of writing, and all I had to do was spread my legs for a few minutes.
They warned me about you. The Dragon Lady. How you demoralize your assistants. How no one's lasted a week. I thought they were just trying to scare me, but the truth is, you're not scary at all. I think you're just scared and sad. And I think the real reason you killed Elena is because you didn't want her to become like you. Lonely and bitter and
full of regret. I'll bring you your dinner in an hour.
Good 5 minutes, no more.
Thanks, asshole.
This is the last time you use my name to get on the scene.
I missed you too, Keen.
Bullshit.
So, what's the prog? Okay. No ID, but my guess? Early 30s, upper layer. And a preference for younger girls. Abrasions on the lower torso and wrists, but cause of death was...
Trauma to the back of the head. Name is Adam Keaton of the Keaton family. How did you know about the girls?
a hunch. Good to see you, Keen.
We're not done here.
Don't do this.
You've been walking on the scenes all month. What are you up to?
Listen, it's not safe here.
You don't have the jurisdiction anymore.
You're gonna get us fucking killed. I know who you're after, a young girl, barely 25. You think she did this?
We have eyewitness reports identifying a young woman leaving the scene.
The girl is innocent. She's the one who needs protection. You're not the son of a council member. They want to sweep her under the rug. The way you're heading, if you're not careful, they will sweep you under too.
Fuck you. I'm taking you in.
You can't even tell what's right or wrong anymore.
Come on, Letty.
It's just, I had to leave before I did too. All we ever did was serve the rich. That wasn't what we signed up for. Don't you remember?
No.
Get down!
Wow. Yes. What incredible work. I know you guys need to take a moment, take that in. That was incredible. What an achievement. Congrats to all the performers, the writers, directors, technicians, and behind the scenes support. A project like this takes a village, and so we thank you. Audience, this is your first time seeing the scenes. What did you think? Throw us some love in the chat so the actors can see later on what you guys thought and how you felt. Taylor, where are you?
Hi.
There you are.
I'm right here.
How does it feel to see your peers work for the first time and yours?
It feels really good. As much as this was a collective experience, we couldn't have been more separated. So to see it with everybody for the first time now, there are some strong people. Like, the fact that we had to do this is a really good opportunity for us, but it's just such a shame that we weren't considered in the first place because we clearly have the talent. Bravo to everyone. It was very good. I loved it. And seeing my scene was, it's always weird seeing yourself, but I wish Connie was here to relish in it with me, but it was good. I love the way it turned out and I can't wait to put it in the demo.
Oh yeah, that's what it's for, girl. Yes. Dianne, where are you, hon?
Hi.
Hi. So do you think after watching all these demos and watching all your fellow actors pour their hearts into stuff, that this will assist in furthering your career?
Oh, 100%. I think the amount of not in really the performance of doing it, like that was really important to me, but I think just the inspiration that was given to me through Samora and Lisa Michelle, just like seeing them circumvent this and just go through the motions and pushing through. It should be a message for all of us to just, if you need something done for you to better the people around you, that's the message I took away. And I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to give it my all because they were just so inspiring.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. I'm going to dig a little bit deeper with all of you. It's good to see all your beautiful faces. I know you're still processing this whole thing. Taylor, Mad World. So interesting because it was shot twice and you guys got to switch off, which is really, really great opportunity. So tell me what that experience was like, playing both roles, and how that came about. Like, how did you guys decide to do that and why?
So to start, first of all, shout out to Rabina Lord Stafford, whose script we used. The reason why we did the switcheroo, unfortunately, Rabina had to step out pretty early in the process due to that family emergency. So Connie and I were like, what do we do? And Samora and Lisa Michelle suggested, hey, why don't you guys just do a switch? And so I was like, okay. At first I was kind of like, oh, like that's a lot. But then I also realized that on my bucket list is to play a double character in a way. So it was my first time playing two roles in a scene, but overall it was really fun and challenging to kind of see how different mine and Connie's approaches were to the same character with the same material. Was really inspiring to be each other's scene partners and support each other's when the camera was on Connie, when the camera was on me. To learn both sets of lines was a challenge, but I welcomed it. And I think having to channel Austin, the nurse's experience and what she feels being confronted by Wendy, to just instantly switch to being the antagonist in the scene, to me showed my range. And so it was actually a blessing in disguise. And thankfully everything's okay as far as I know with Rowena. So it kind of worked out as an interesting challenge to showcase both of our ranges and to really support each other through and through, because we both knew those lines inside and out. And I was there for Connie when it was her turn. And I was like, as much as you saw me, I was like, oh, Connie, yes. And it was, we were both rooting for each other really heavily. So yeah, it was an interesting experience, but one that I thoroughly enjoyed and welcomed.
Yeah, and I bet you cherish that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Joyce, I know that Joyce Chen specifically, I know that you're on set, so I'm going to grab you in here and ask you a little bit. What do you think this role and how do you think this role will change the characters that you have access to now?
Oh,
you're on set working.
Yeah. Sorry about my makeup is crazy. I don't know if I'm allowed to have it out. This opportunity was amazing because I normally do not even get asked to play like romantic leads or anybody who would be like interested in romance at all. I don't know what that says about like our industry, but like I personally have never experienced that. And so seeing something that's written that I could do well and that I could have chemistry in and show that it could work with a woman of my face and color and body, it was I got really emotional at the end of that day because it was like it felt like a dream come true because I didn't think that I would ever be able to do a role like that.
Yeah, you didn't see yourself, and now you did, and now you do. And congratulations,
yeah.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. Michael, you got to play off of this.
Yeah.
This brilliance. You got to play off of this like confident and playful character. Talk to me about, because you got to play two scenes too. So like everybody got to some people were lucky and got to double up. So talk to me about playing the lead rom-com role and then the police officer role and like what that whole process was doing those two scenes.
It was a huge challenge, obviously, because working on two scenes, especially with them being such a contrast to each other, took a lot of work. Like I really had to break down both characters. I had to, get the backstory straight, their motivations, their intentions, their objectives, and all of that. But what really made it work and what made life so much better for me was to have an amazing partner in Joyce, in Oshini, but also to have Chris and Paul and all of us working together to create the pieces just made switching between the two characters very, very easy for me by the end of it.
That's great. It does take a team, doesn't it? That's incredible. Do you think that this experience will change how you are perceived in the industry?
I do. I really do. Like, I've been acting for 15 years, and I've only auditioned for any kind of romantic role twice, and I've never actually booked a role like this. So for me to get to play this here, but also to now have this on my demo reel to show them what I'm capable of doing, I'm confident that it's going to allow them to see what I can do and change the perception of me.
Incredible. Incredible. This is why there's initiatives like this are so important. Oshini, I'm going to bring you in here because you got to work with Michael with wonderful performance in Turn Back. Just curious for both of you, now that you've expanded a little bit more, what type of characters are you most interested in playing now? Like, what are you going to push for? Oshini, you can start.
I so want to push for being like any kind of like warrior woman character. Yes! I think like Michael and I both I love crime dramas, and I love that like those characters can be like, in one moment they're like very vulnerable and like sweet and quiet, but you never know, they could be the killers. So that's my love for that genre. But yeah, I just need to like break out. That's what I want to do now.
Michael, what about you?
Oh man, I would love to be on like a sci-fi show or one of the superhero shows out right now, but like not a superhero. I actually want to be like maybe like a detective who, you know, when they're like dealing with a villain and then like there's like a police officer who helps them or tries to like hunt them down because, you know, being a vigilante is bad. I want to be that guy. I want to be that detective dealing with all those situations because I think it's cool. But I also want to, this is a little off from any of my scenes, I want to be in a horror film and I want to get killed. I want to get killed by a ghost or a monster or a slasher or something, because that will be fun.
I don't know how I feel about the slasher because I like you, but okay. Oshini, so you had told the directors after you played this that you'd never pictured yourself playing a police officer before. So can you talk about what that experience was like for you? Because that was something that was sort of out of your wheelhouse.
Yeah, so to clarify, I had this belief that I just couldn't shake, that people didn't see me for who I was. And I had a belief that the strong female lead, this like warrior woman, probably looked like a tall, athletic woman with like a deep voice and chiseled face, and she was probably brunette in my head. So it's not that I didn't see myself, it's that I had this belief that I just couldn't shake. And when we shot this scene, I swear to you, I could feel like my whole life and my spirit aligning with the words on that page that were written for us. And like, no one can take that away from me now. Like, I feel that I have the experience that I can move forward and like solidify this vision for my life. And like, that's what I need. So now I don't need to like make up this, I don't need to tell the story to people that, I like feel like I'm claiming that I'm capable of playing this character. Like now I'm like, now I deserve it and I know I've done it, and now I can like manifest that in my life. I don't need to like feel like a fraud or like I'm asking for attention or something. Like, I did it.
Yes,
hold on to
that.
Yeah.
Yes. Round of applause for that feeling. The actors and the writer. Whew, that scene. Joyce, talk to me about what kind of collaboration happened in that writing of that? What was that experience like? Talk to me about it. I'd love you to come off mute because I know you're saying brilliance.
Sorry about that.
Okay, we all do it.
You'd think I were Zoom trained by now. Yeah, I just wanted to mention, someone spoke about it taking so long to get this done. And I just wanted to say it was very well timed for me because I was awaiting treatment for follicular cancer. And this was a really good diversion that allowed me to just like throw myself into it. And I don't know, I noticed that the lymph nodes were all swollen, and I had challenges talking. Because there were things going on in my throat. So it was just great to get out there and work with such amazing people. When I first met Ijeoma, we clicked. We were like sisters immediately. And then we Zoom met with Andre, and we just started talking and sharing. And we both have a love for sci-fi and comedy. And so this, I feel, sort of segued into a comedy. My strength or my brand has been a strong female woman, and this allowed me to play that in a sort of a comedic tilt. And Andre was great. He just let us play around with it and decided to go with it at the end when we just kind of switched it a little around. And Ijeoma was so great to work with, and everybody was. We had such amazing people in support. And I'm sorry, did I answer the question?
You did, and so much more. Ijeoma, I'm going to
Okay.
get you to come in here and talk about your experience with Joyce, but also talk about how it was to have something written for you, because this is like, that's a unique experience.
It was amazing. And like Joyce said, we hit it off like right in the kind of like intro audition kind of chat where we all met together. And I was so happy to be teamed up with Joyce on this project and Andre. And it was so just so natural. Like he really listened to us, and it was so collaborative. It just made me want to do more. I was like, this is incredible. It's special to have something written for you and to feel like your heart is in the piece that you produce or that is created. And I really feel that way. It was really special. And the whole set, everything was incredible. Yeah.
That's amazing. And to both of you, it was incredible work, but also, how do you think you would have viewed yourself, or what kind of roles did you think you were appropriate for? And now how has that changed?
I think the thing for me that's changed is not about forcing anything or trying to fit into anything, but also accepting and loving who I am and what I can bring to a story. That's me. So I can fit into all these different things, and I can play all these different characters and step into all these different lives, which I love to do. But that there's also something special that's just within me that can come out in a story. And that's kind of what I took from it. So
great.
Yeah, I don't know if that answers it.
Yeah, enjoy.
Awesome. I always knew that what my brand was, but it was really powerful to utilize it in a situation that switched to a comedy. And it's so difficult to show a story in such a short period of time. And I love the way Ijeoma came in so sweet and kind and just stood up for herself at the end. And it gave me an opportunity to switch as well. And so that was really powerful. To feel that shift happening and the power shift happening, and I want to do the next episode.
Well, we're all here for it.
We joked with Andre that we'll take the screenplay, the full length film.
That's amazing. I love it. So let me go to the lunchtime actors, because comedy is hard. So one, I'm just for me, what was your experience? Because I think a little birdie told me there was some improv in this. So Alex, you first. Talk to me about what that was like, especially because I don't believe you and Meilie had ever met before. So that's also very difficult.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, me and Meilie had not worked before, and luckily I do actually have a background in improv. That was one of the things that helped give me my foot in the door when it comes to acting. We worked together really closely with Krystle, our writer, when it came to developing the script, and we were also given a lot of freedom while we were shooting in order to really bring out the best of the script. You know, the amazing thing about the script to me is the humor of it comes from the fact that it's ultimately such a very trivial situation, but we are taking it so seriously. And so that really encourages us to have the sort of face off at the end where we're basically trying to show up each other. We were given a lot of freedom when it came to our gesticulations and how we were going to be making our points. And that was one of the things that it really helped us come to life, and it helped us loosen up a little bit, because then me and Meilie really were like, we were trying to almost, it was like we were almost trying to make each other laugh and trying to make our point to each other. And that really helped make it almost like a competition between us on stage and on the script. It was a lot of fun.
Meilie, what was your experience with Alex and his comedy your thing?
Yes, it was like Alex said, a lot of fun. Krista has given us amazing one-lines and one-word burns. And use it as you wish, basically. And Samora basically created the atmosphere where we could just play and one-up each other with the lines, and sometimes with things that would just spur up in the moment, because it was definitely a game, which I think is a game for the characters as well. So I'm sure that I was excited to see what would come out in the editing process, because I think there's like several takes with several different burns and all these things like that. So comedy is definitely difficult because it requires the stakes to be high, but about a trivial thing, like Alex said. But it requires that kind of improv, like this awareness of being present in the moment, so that you can actually respond to what is given to you. Because if you just read words, it could just be like, McDonald, huh? What? No. Tie. And you're like, but it gives a lot of space, and thanks to Krista and Samora for the interpretation. And I feel characters came out to life to actually fill in those words and create something really amazing.
That's incredible. And like, is this your first substantial comedic scene that you have for real now, or have you experienced this before?
For me, I'm actually a very new actor, which is part of why I was really very grateful and very happy to be here, thanks to Lisa Michelle and Samora. I've done quite a bit of comedic work, mostly on stage. I have a theatrical background, and a lot of the types of plays and things have been somewhat similar in tone. They are very comedic, but in a very sort of absurdist way almost. And this was a really interesting chance for me to, I think, show off that that's something that I feel quite comfortable in. I felt like it's useful to someone if they want to get an idea for what my strengths are as an actor, because I am playing to the comedic aspects of the scene, but with the sense of tongue-in-cheek self-awareness, knowing how absurd it is, that it's such a trivial situation, but I'm treating it like it's so important. It's the most important thing in the world to me.
Which is really fun to play. Which is really fun to play. Meilie, what about you? Is this your first time?
I lean towards drama. I love affecting people and being affected, and you swing from the powerful to the vulnerable, and that's like, I find that so compelling. And then Alex, she wanted to do some comedy, and I was like, yes, because I'm afraid. So let's do this. And this is a great space to try my hand at that. I have done actually comedy in the past on little sketches here and there, but I feel sometimes it's a hit and miss. Sometimes you get it, and then sometimes you're like, I thought I knew how to do comedy, and no, I'm not. Yeah, it was a good challenge, and I enjoyed it, and I was pushed to bring out more of my quirkiness, and I tend to forget that. They're like, you're already quirky. I'm like, really? Oh, okay, yeah.
That's great.
So that was really good.
That's
yes.
great. That's awesome. Thank you too. You did wonderful work. Let's move on to Denial. So I have Alejandro and Krystle. Woo, that scene. Listen, that is a short scene and a lot was said within it. So Krystle, talk to me about what you did to bring that script to life, because you had a, your character goes through this huge arc in that scene. So talk to me about that experience and what it was like to write that with the writers and like have your voice and narration in there.
Yeah, for sure. It was funny when our director writer Thambani was coming up with the characters. I did a lot of research into like female like psychopaths and serial killers, and it was interesting to see what was coming up. It was like, oh, these women kill only for money or to like, or for different things that seemed kind of like very biased from where this research was coming from and very outdated. So it was really cool that we kind of got to dive in deeper to her, and Bonnie came up with such a huge background on this character. It was like so rich. It was like so much to work with. So it was like really exciting. And I got to watch interviews with female psychopaths and just kind of figure out what made them tick and their little mannerisms, and like kind of coming up with all that was so much fun because we rarely get to do that, to like really dive into these characters. So it was like amazing.
That's great. Alejandro, how about you? You got to play this like calm and collected. What was that experience like with Krystle? Don't forget to take yourself off mute, because I know you're going to say brilliant.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't, I don't think it was a challenge, and I don't think it was that difficult for me to remain calm, because that was what it was expected from the beginning from my character, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I would try to do was trying to catch Krystle reactions and try to mirror that in a way that I was not overplaying, but more like supporting and be together. And another thing that I think it really helped us is that Meilie wrote a great piece. And sometimes you find as an actor that you're trying to do something, but if the writing is not that good, or there's some pieces missing, then
right.
Something that sometimes affects your views, right?
Right.
In this case, it was perfect.
And was this for your first time working with these writers and directors, Alejandro?
Yes, I met him thanks to this program. It's fantastic. Thank you very much to Dianne, to Samora, everyone. I think it's a great initiative, and I could I wish I could be of more help in the future.
Oh, yeah. I have no doubt that you will be. I have no doubt. And shout out to the E20 writers and directors and stuff who are in this, who came on to this initiative. E20 is a program that's run by the Reelworld Institute. So I want to give a little shout out for that there. Thank you to Krystle and Alejandro. Your scene was fantastic. So thank you so much. Let's move on to the promotion. Yes, Yasmijn and Dianne, how are you ladies? Talk to me. Listen, were you involved in that drama? Did you push for more when you're writing it? Did you pull back when the writers are like, oh, let's go for it, and you're like, oh, I don't know. So like, talk to me, Yasmijn, about like what challenges it was to play her.
Honestly, it was a collaborative experience. Andre is such an amazing writer, and he's so amazing at writing for women. And yeah, we did have a little bit of say, but he delivered. We didn't even really have to say much. I think he sent like 2 drafts, and we were like, wow, we're sold. We're good to go. You gave us everything we needed. Sorry, what else did you ask?
Did you find it challenging playing her?
You know what? I actually do relate a lot to Naomi, and this role just brought me back to theater school, because theater school is a really competitive environment, and there's a lot of favoritism that happens when it comes time to casting. And, you know, there are students that are more deserving of the role and are oftentimes overlooked. So, but in many other ways, I can relate to Naomi, especially as a Black woman. I've always been told that I need to work twice as hard to get half of what our peers have. So yeah, it was pretty. We had a lot of similarities.
Yeah, great. Dianne, what did you love about your character when you played her? When you saw her on the page, what was it that was like, yes?
I think it was her humility and selflessness. Like, really, she could have come in there and been like, hey, I got the job. Sorry, get over it. But the whole time she was protecting her friend until the end, until she really, the thermometer was up here and then she just exploded.
Mhm.
But the whole time she was doing her best to just protect her, which I really liked.
Nice. And to both of you, is this the first time you've gotten to have like a meaty role to put up somewhere to represent yourself? And how has that changed? Like after you viewed it, how does that change how you perceive yourself as actors? Yasmijn, you can go.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to be here and to be a part of this experience. I know that this is definitely going to accelerate my career. This is like the second time where I've had a meaty role, and I just want to like prove to the industry that I'm more than just a one-liner character or like an open ethnicity character. I feel like we all got the sauce, we all got the juice here, we all got the magic, and it's possible to see ourselves on screen.
Nice. Dianne,
I agree.
Like, I'm not sure how you follow that, but go for it.
I already put it on my demo reel. If that says anything, it's already on my demo reel. And it's just really nice because I have played other characters that are kind of like, meaty, but I tend to play very harsh, round characters that are like, just like, I'm gonna stab you, or like really mean. And it was nice for this character, even on the day, they were like, and less mean, like even like pull it back more. So it's really, really, I'm really glad that I'll be able to show that to whoever watches it, just like a little bit of a harder character and a softer character.
Beautiful. So you got to show some range because that's what this is for.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, this is for all of you. So thank you so much for your performances again. It was a pleasure. I watched them a few times before this lovely thing, so I feel like I know you a little bit. But this is for all of you. And it's going to be rapid. I'm going to call out your names. You just, first thing that comes to your head, not top three, not just one. What is your favorite Canadian series or movie? Okay, I'm giving you 3 seconds. And I'm going to start with Ijeoma. What is your pick? She's like, I don't know.
Favorite? No, I do really bad with like shock questions. Favorite, like literally, I'm blank.
Okay, come back to him.
Terrible.
Joyce. Just Joyce, because Joyce Chan, I think, left us. Joyce, where are you?
Schitt's Creek.
Yeah. Diana.
Well, mine would have been Schitt's Creek, but also John Fawcett's Orphan Black. Let's go.
Oh, okay. Yasmijn.
I mean, is The Handmaid's Tale Canadian, kind of?
I mean, it's filmed here, but
not really. Yeah.
I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Alejandro.
Cardinal.
Okay. Krystle.
Ooh, I would have said Handmaid's Tale too, but I'll say Tall Boys because I love that now.
All right. Taylor.
The show that I binged in about one day, Corner.
Yes. Oshini. Yes.
Murdoch Mysteries.
Don't be ashamed. I love that show. Alex.
And with an E.
Yes. Meilie.
This is, I think, a co-production. The Vikings. Is it co-production?
Oh, good question.
Anyone know? Okay. If not, then the movie Bon Cop Bad Cop.
Yes, lovely choice. Michael.
Was gonna say Orphan Black, but now I'm just gonna have to say, does Flashpoint count, or are they American production that was shot here?
Ooh, I don't know.
You remember that show?
I do remember that show. I know.
I loved Flashpoint.
All right, and I think it's Canadian. I think, Alex, I think you're right. I think it is Canadian. Ooh, we got to brush up on those names. Ijeoma, you think I forgot you, but I did not.
No, Being Erica.
Throwback.
I would have said Stargate, but I wasn't sure if that was Canadian or American production. But Being Erica, yes.
Nice. Well, thank you guys. I know I put you under the gun there, but I appreciate it. And hopefully our audience If you hadn't heard of any of those shows, you will now go support those shows and support Canadian productions because we do equally as fantastic work. What a wonderful evening of support and discovery with all of you. Thank you to Safia and Matt from Reelworld, our digital producers who managed the backstage for this evening. We could not do this without you. To all the performers watching this, I hope that we've inspired you to get out there and take your careers into your own hands. ACTRA members can take advantage of the digital self-promotion contracts and co-ops through ACTRA Toronto, which allow you to produce your own projects under contract. And don't be afraid to connect with actors, directors, cinematographers, editors, and everything in between to film your own work. Many of you can find and message directly to access Reelworld. If you are not already a member, don't forget to sign up at accessreelworld.ca to be discovered. Put your reels up, all your material, your beautiful headshots up there. Also, subscribe to the Reelworld YouTube channel. And of course, like us and follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All our handles are now being placed into the chat. And I will now shift it over to Lisa Michelle and Samora.
Woo!
A bit more.
Wow, I have to say, that was my first time seeing all of the films in their completed, fully edited form. And I am moved, even more moved after hearing all the actors speak about their experiences and how this initiative affected them. It's just amazing what a plan can do from thought to paper to execution and to results. So I hope, like you said, Kafi, first of all, thank you as well for moderating this and being here for us. But I really hope that I know that it would have inspired everyone who's watching. And we have so many people to thank, and I'm going to read it because there are so many people. I don't want to forget anyone. So a big shout out to our talented crew who made these scenes happen. Roger Singh, our cinematographer, Ryan Singh and DeLorean Klein, our grip department, Elisa Ehrlich and Stevie D, our location sound recordist, Larissa Palazuk, our hair and makeup artist, Bruce King for helping out with our equipment, Tom Smalley and Alessandra Di Simone, our picture editors, Faustine Pelepel, our sound editor and designer. Are you taking notes of how many people it takes to do this? The entire village and then some. The entire crew at Rolling Pictures, and of course, Jen Paul, Taza Decker, Alistair Hepburn, Carl Pruner, Cass Enright, Karen Ritson, Victoria Shen, and Sue Milling. That's a slew of powerhouse ACTRA Toronto staff members that do way more than just put up empty statements about what ACTRA Toronto is about when it comes to diversity and actually help all of us walk the walk. And along with the support of ACTRA Toronto Council and countless other staff who have helped us along the long, long way.
We would also like to take this opportunity to thank the sponsors who made this initiative possible. Seriously, on the real. AFBS, ACTRA Fraternal Benefit Society, graciously stepped in to help us cover many of the hard costs involved with producing a film. That's what this was, y'all. Anyone here who doesn't know, this was making films.
10,000%. In the Shadows props provided many of the props that you saw on screen, including that really cool dead body, since nobody wanted to do that, including the very cool prop weapons and costumes you saw in the scene Turn Back.
Rolling Pictures provided post-production services to make all of the scenes look and sound as beautiful as they did. Thank you so much for working so seamlessly with our editors to take care of our online edit, dailies, mix, and color grade.
And as anyone who's worked on a film or for a film, you know that shooting a film during COVID is no easy feat. And it was incredibly important that we ensured the safety of our cast and crew on set. So in following the Section 21 protocols, our COVID-19 rapid testing was graciously provided by Precision Biomonitoring. Thank you for helping us all feel safe as we possibly could on set and do our thing.
A big thank you to William F. Weitz, who are big supporters of indie film and provided the equipment we needed to bring these scenes to life. And of course, she turned down her credit, but Lisa Michelle makes an first AC. If anyone is ever looking to fill out their camera department, yeah, right, because she is fully booked and blessed on set in her performer role.
Yes, I made quite a comical first AC, but I did it. Shout out to Samora as well on your directorial debut. I don't know if it was even mentioned in this convo, but Samora directed 3 of these scenes. I believe it was 3. Yes, 3 of these killer scenes. So congrats on that, on top of all the other things we were doing. What else can we say? We thanked our sponsors. Thank you again to ACTRA Toronto and Reelworld. Tanya, thank you, Tanya Williams, who was in on this from the beginning. She's been not enough can be said about how much Tanya does for performers on a whole in Canada, especially ACTRA performers, this initiative included. She was with us every step of the way and willing to give us her voice, her platform, introduce us to all of you. Thank you again, Kafi, for moderating this as well. And yes, to any other organizations or industry friends who are watching, we hope you'll get in touch in the future to get involved in upcoming initiatives. They're always happening.
And visit actratoronto.com/how to join if you'd like to learn how to join the union, but you may as well just go to the regular website and look at it. It's nice. There's a lot of stuff to have a look at.
Exactly. And if you're an ACTRA Toronto member, join the committee. This is how all of these folks who participated, that's how they heard about it, because they're involved. So join your committees, join your ACTRA Toronto Diversity and Inclusion Committee. It's a welcome to all those who self-identify as culturally diverse, physically diverse, and allies as well. So our new co-chairs, Shatrice Dolabai and Janet Rose Nguyen, are our new co-chairs as well. And I know they'll be happy to have your support and love, so hit them up as well.
And really quickly, if I can, I just want to say thank you so much to the actors for showing up. There were a lot of applicants. Thank you to everyone who applied and how you show up for yourself every day. Speaking of the 3 scenes that I edited and watching all of these scenes, going through the edit and seeing you constantly show up for yourself, that's what's so amazing. And one of the great byproducts of the initiative too is someone touched on it, Michael, talking about how much prep went into it. When we say we're ready for that opportunity, it's your job to prove that you are, and all the fun and creative ways you display your art at home is how you get ready for that opportunity. Please do involve yourself in your art and your creativity outside of just trying to get a job. I love you so much. I've had an amazing time as your D&I co-chair. Lisa Michelle, we need to figure out how to hang out more often since we're not having our weekly meetings together.
At least,
thank you.
And now it can just be about drinks and not a whole bunch of work.
Drinks on patios. Yes, that's what we're here for. Ladies, thank you again so much. Thank you again to Sophia Abgar and Matt Waterworth for doing digital everything magic back there. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Again, this has been an inspiring evening for me. Great conversation with all of you. I hope you all have enjoyed watching. On behalf of Access Reelworld and ACTRA Toronto, thank you for joining us and have a great night.